The next command I want to show you is the hatch command. And all that means is that it's a fill pattern. So we're going to fill inside of our circles or inside of a closed area with some sort of pattern. It's right here on the home panel, or I can just type an H and enter, and then it brings up all of the different properties for it. I can click here and find the different types of hatch patterns. So I'm just going to pick on solid to start with, and I'm going to pick a different color, let's say red, and I'm just going to click inside the circles that I want the pattern to turn red. And I can just hit enter, and those are now red. So let's try a couple of different ones. So I'm going to go back to hatch command, and instead of solid, let's change it to, I like angle right here, so let's try some angles, and let's change our color to maybe blue. And if I click inside my circles again, I can put my hatch pattern in. Notice that it comes in with the angle that is blue. Let's try a couple more. So I'm going to go back to my hatch pattern. One of my favorite hatch patterns is one down here called Etcher, and you can experiment with this. I like this one. Let's change the color back to, let's try yellow. Notice I don't get a lot of definition with this one. So what I want to do is I want to change my scale on this one. So I'm going to try 0.5 and see if I like that better. That gives me a little bit more definition. So at half the pattern scale, I get what I want to, and I can hit enter and stick that in. Let's try one more idea here. So I'm going to go back to my hatch pattern. I said that before it has to be a closed place. So if I click inside this one right here, notice it has a gap. So it's going to give me an error message that it cannot find, and it shows me where that error is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of that, and let's try one more. So I'm going to go hatch pattern again, H for hatch. And let's find a pattern that isn't going to work real well for us. So I'm going to come up here and find one of the concretes. This is an architectural pattern. And if I click in here, it is really, really big. So I'm going to change my scale on that to an architectural scale, which would be 1 divided by 48. Maybe that's too thick. Let's try 1 divided by 24. And that's not a bad looking hatch scale right there. Maybe I want to change the color to green. And if I zoom in on that, you can see the different, that is the hatch pattern for concrete. So that is your introduction to hatch command. It's a fun command, but at the same time, it can also be dangerous.